Hi, welcome to Think Human. I'm Chris, and in this video I want to talk about one thought experiment about morality, and let's just look at it as a logical argument, and essentially it would follow as such. So imagine that in front of you there is a button, and once you press this button, one random human being on the planet will die, but you will get 1 million money, whatever currency you want to think about, but quite a decent amount of money. So the idea would be that you could use this amount of money to save many more lives than this one life that would be lost. So if you sacrifice this one life, you will get to save 1,000 in the minimum. You can save way more than 1,000 probably, if you look at really effective ways in some poor countries where you could save whole villages and even have enough left over to live a good life. So what is the problem with this? Depending on how you look at it, many people have some kind of deep philosophical or moral kind of objection to this, which is the idea of how could you choose whose life to take? This is not fair. It's not for human beings to decide these kind of things. Although throughout history, so many people have made those choices for good or bad, better or worse. But in this sense, what the argument would be is that if all lives are truly equal, then we could all agree that 2 lives are better than 1. 1,000 lives is better than 1. So in a way, not using that opportunity, not pressing that button, would be immoral. If you're truly talking about that every life is equal, then in a way it would be immoral to pass up the opportunity to actually do a lot of good to way more people. People die every day, thousands and thousands of people. Right now, every minute people are dying. It would be just one more, but you could save thousands and thousands of people. So I would sort of ask this question of what would you do if you were faced with this kind of, I don't know if to call it dilemma, but this kind of opportunity, or however you want to look at it. This goes to the argument of the trolley problem of, if all lives are truly equal, then what choice do you make? Of course, there is this, some people have this personal kind of objection against actually personally being responsible for ending someone's life. But again, I would say that is that not overwhelmed by 1,000 lives saved? If you let this one random person, and some people defend themselves by saying, oh, what if it's my mom or my loved one or whatever? Like, no, it's really a random person somewhere outside of the world. Of course, all lives are equal, so it's equally bad, but still no one related to you. So yes, you would not condemn this one person to death, but in a way you could think about not condemning this one person to death, you are condemning thousands of people to death. So this is the argument that I would present to you. What would you do, and how would you think about this? I think this is an interesting thing to think about. It really goes down to the way that you think about it. Is most lives saved important to you, this kind of utilitarian idea? Or is it really that, ends don't justify the means, or means don't justify the ends? I always forget how that goes, but you know what I mean. So, interesting thing to think about. Moral questions are always interesting to think about. For me personally, I would think, we want to maximize well-being and maximize happiness. The most happiness we can get from any situation would be the best outcome, even if someone would suffer, but someone always suffers. That's something right now that we can't do something about. But if you had the choice, overwhelmingly save a lot of people or save just one person, I guess it comes down to, in a way, of who do you save? Do you save one random person, or do you save 1,000 random people? In a logical kind of sense, if you really appreciate people and if you think all lives are equal, there wouldn't be any question about it, really, I think. So this is just a thought experiment I wanted to present to you. I wonder what people think about this. So I hope this is something to think about. Please leave your comments down below. Thank you so much for watching, and take care.